Hi, I'm Leanne
And I'm Helaine. Welcome to Step Into Next, where we move together from what was to what's next.
in business and life. Hi again, Helene.
Oh, so good to see you in person. I love it. It's my
I love
favorite
it
thing.
too. It really is.
Yeah,
We did just see each other not too long ago, but it's good to see you always. It
always.
never gets old. All right, let's get into it.
Yes. Why are we here?
Well, we're here in episode one
Yeah,
to talk about how two entrepreneurs, you and me, became unlikely writing partners, and I'd add business partners.
definitely.
Okay. So, how'd we meet? Do you remember?
Um,
Barely.
wow, we did not prep this. I believe that we met at a female founders of fitness dinner at someone's over the top apartment,
Yes.
maybe on Lexington.
Yes, totally.
Yes.
I remember being so psyched to be invited to this because
Imposter syndrome or okay.
no, I was
Okay,
happy
good.
to be invited
Great.
because it was all cool women, which I was
Uh-huh.
thrilled about. And the invitation was like, dinner will be provided and drinks will be
And so you were
provided.
hungry.
Oh, I was starving.
Yeah, totally.
And also, I was like, I don't have to bring anything and I get to show up. So it was great. You and I clicked
We
kind of
did.
instantly.
Mhm.
Um, and then I remember, so this is back in 2019. I was closing my company, Uplift.
Yeah. We didn't remain like good friends though. I want to be very
No,
clear.
yeah, we didn't. We were friendly, but like,
Friendly. Yeah.
and when I was closing Uplift,
And
I
what was Uplift, Leanne?
Uplift Helene was my all women fitness studio, female society, and female empowerment consultancy.
And did you also serve wine to people after their
We did do
workouts?
workout and wines.
Mhm.
Yeah. I remember, well, that's a story for another day. There's some funny stories out of that, but we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah.
Ooh, podcast and wine or something where we drink
Interesting.
wine and chat.
I
Okay,
don't know.
next time.
People still drinking? Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, you're right. Good call. Okay, so Uplift, I decided to close it down for many reasons.
Yeah.
And you were the person I decided to call. What,
Why?
5 times? Well, I don't know. I
Okay.
trusted you. You were this amazing businesswoman, but you were super vulnerable and authentic. And my business partners had left,
Yeah.
and I was charged with shutting down this entire company by myself, getting it acquired or whatever. I had no idea what to do at any stage of that. And so 5 times a day I called you.
Mhm.
Most of
So nice
those
that I picked up, I think.
you picked up
Right?
every time.
And my phone is always on silent. So that's also what's surprising about this too.
And little did we know, or little
Yeah.
did I know, you were going through your own shit at the time, ups and downs in the same way, not in the same way as I was. But so that's kind of where we cemented things. And then a
Yeah.
short while later,
Yeah.
you
Well,
hired me to work for
I
you.
did. And I remember those conversations. I think, we got to know each other through problem solving, which I always think is a fun way
Mm-hmm.
to get to know somebody, like really get to know how their brain works.
Hmm.
And so we were in it. Like I remember having very intense conversations. Like, I'm going to be honest, we should probably call a lawyer.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes I think I'm a lawyer and I'm not. And I just want to like frame that in the conversation. And
Oh.
please, hopefully you're not recording this, Leanne. But I remember those conversations and then, talking about me going through stuff at the same time. We were going through crazy pains at City Row. We didn't have a lot of money. We were opening multiple locations. We were franchising. We had a digital business that was growing. And I remember my co founder, Ashley, coming to me being like, I literally cannot run these studios anymore. And I remember where I was standing. I was standing in the vestibule of Honey Brains on Lafayette and Bleecker.
You love that place.
I know. It's mediocre. But I remember being like, I'm just going to ask her if she will take this on. And you said yes, like very instantly. And so then we became colleagues. And you not only ran the studio starting in January of 2020, and then
Yikes.
you were, obviously we'll go into our journey together, but you were a real strong, I would say, staple for me as someone to lean on and the company for the duration of City Row.
Want to hear a confession?
Ooh, yikes. Yes.
So when you hired me to do that, I was so burnt out
Yeah.
and so miserable, like from the end of closing my company. I should never have done that because
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. I couldn't show up in the way that I normally would. I was like, I should have just taken well, good thing I didn't take a long vacation or else I'd probably still be in Europe somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, but in a weird way, COVID was obviously a worldwide disaster, but in some ways, for both of us individually and then certainly together, COVID became a little bit of an opportunity,
Absolutely.
I'd say. So it was an opportunity. City Road pivoted a lot
Yep.
at the time.
I was
And
like, Leanne, you can do this, right?
yeah, I was like, I guess, sure.
Can you build a customer service team for a digital business?
And actually, that ended up being amazing. And we
Yeah.
had working together in that capacity as you pivoted City Row like crazy. First of all, it was so inspiring to me to watch you, not to kiss your butt or anything, but it
We have
really,
plenty of time. Keep going. These are the tangents we should be going on.
seriously.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I remember just getting to know you more and more and more and being so inspired by you. And then we had some time on our hands.
We had some time on our hands. It was interesting. COVID was really
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Thank you for the confession. I definitely didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it goes to show that even when we think we show up less than, it's probably more than anyone's imagining. But like also shame for me that you weren't at 100% because maybe City Row would have survived, Leanne. Okay? I can now blame the whole demise of
Put
the
it
company
on
on you.
me.
This is
I'll
actually a
take
gift.
it.
I don't care what happens to the podcast. The fact that I can now blame City Row on you is
Please,
unbelievable.
I will take that for you. I
Yeah.
really will. I'll take
My
it.
therapist is getting fired. So this is great.
This is like therapy.
Yeah, this is fantastic. No, and I would say COVID was an opportunity for us to be collaborative and creative and um then
Cut
I
to.
yeah, cut to. I'm going to be honest. I don't even remember the moment. Do you remember the moment?
I totally do.
Oh, great.
I remember, so I had taken this class with Lucinda Literary, a literary agent who's starting to give, like, she was doing other interesting things in business, teaching courses on like how to write a book proposal and stuff. So I just took this class during COVID. And I've written a lot of my own stuff. I've written a book before, but the first thing that popped in my mind was Helane's got a fucking story here and
Yeah.
she's going to write a book and I'm going to help her write that book. It was
Yeah.
my light bulb moment for you. And I called you and I was like, you're writing a book and I'm not taking no for an answer.
I don't remember that. Was
Okay.
did you also maybe slip something in my drink or it was virtual?
It was virtual, I think, because it was still in the throes of COVID.
Oh, right. Social
Hmm.
distancing.
Hmm.
Fantastic. Yeah, honestly, you were definitely the driving force behind it. There were moments in the City Road journey where the idea of writing a book had come up, like
Uh-huh.
when we had that epic Today Show profile.
Yep.
I had a bunch of like literary agents reach out being like, "Hey, when you're ready to write a book, I'd love to write your book." And I kind of laughed about it. I thought, why would anyone want to hear my story? And I had one or two calls and then filed that away somewhere and you came and you were like so emphatic about it. You were so emphatic. And I was like, I don't even know how to write a book. Like I'm great at writing emails.
Hmm.
We
You
take my
are.
emails, make my emails a book because I think they're beautiful. But I had no idea where to begin.
Yeah, and I did. So we did, and it was so much fun. We're going to get into our process and all of those details in later episodes, but I think the takeaway is that I'm a very bossy, persuasive person,
Yeah.
and you responded well to that
Which is shocking because I am not typically I don't typically react well to people telling me what to
because
do.
you're a bossy, persuasive person.
Yeah, and I obviously don't trust anybody to do anything better than me,
Hmm.
but there must have been something. It must have been like the right moment in time where I was open
Hmm.
to something new, and I
Hmm.
wonder if that was because it was COVID.
Yeah,
And I remember being really bored, right? Like I was living alone. I went down to Miami. So maybe you saw me at a vulnerable time and you took advantage.
I probably took advantage of you, but
Okay.
to a good end
Okay.
because you really did have an amazing story to tell, and I knew you did. I just remembered something funny, which is we did an little all hands at City Row, a meeting, and we wanted to do like a fun icebreaker or something. So
Yes.
everybody, you proposed every week in our all hands, s- someone would take the floor and teach everybody
Oh my
something.
God, that was such a stressful time. Yes.
And I did a book recommendation club. Like
Oh my
I
God,
went, I
you
remember I
did.
made a slide deck and
That was a complete waste of time. Yeah.
I know it was absolutely
Yeah. We
insane.
should be working on the business.
We should have, but it was fun.
It's fine.
So I made you read the biography of Catherine the Great of Russia. I
You
gave
did.
I gave other people like David Sedaris or whatever, but I made you read
How
this
many pages was that,
it was
Leanne?
literally like 1,000 fucking pages.
Hmm.
Um, sorry, mom, I keep swearing. I'm working on that. But I love that book. And I was
Yeah.
like, listen, you are an empress. You really are. You got to learn to be a leader like this lady. And you read it
I
and you
did.
and you loved it,
I
right?
again, I was very bored.
Yes.
Very bored during COVID. Um, and yeah, it was a wonderful book. She was an amazing female icon.
Strong
I
female.
knew nothing about her ahead of time.
Mhm.
I can't tell you that I retained all the information, but I do appreciate that you saw me as a version of her, and that went a long way.
Well, I think that makes me think of what we talk about all the time, which is a book. In this case, Catherine the Great isn't a business, but a book is your business and your business is a book. So, in other words, we figured out in this process pretty early on that writing a book was going to be a big part of your brand, your business at the time, even City Row, perhaps. We
Hmm.
weren't sure how that was going to go. And writing a book is like starting a business, right? Wouldn't you
100%.
say?
100%. I think one of the things that has been so shocking for me, and it's actually crazy to think that that was what, almost 5 years ago that we had that first conversation where, again, I don't remember saying yes. So I just want to like very clearly state that this was it evolved into the point where I actually just couldn't get out.
Yeah.
I think is actually what happened.
I sunk my hooks
Um,
into you.
yeah, well, be careful because I have nails
I
now.
know you really do.
And they're
I love
stunning.
them.
But I really do think that there was something that was open at that time. A small portal opened where for 10 years, or I guess at this point, maybe it's 7 years of City Row, there was no way in hell I could take on a side project. But because COVID, closed every social opportunity and we couldn't do anything, couldn't travel, I think I thought to myself, okay, like she's super interested in this. Selfishly, we actually just talked a lot. We talked on the phone a lot. And obviously
Mhm.
we'll get into the process. I don't want to give that away, but it felt good to talk about. And it always
Mm.
feels good for someone to see you
Mhm.
and to be seen in a way that maybe you want to be seen, but you can't really find it on your own. So it felt really good for someone to come to me and say, "No, no, you actually do have a really good story to tell." I thought I was just another crazy entrepreneur in New York who had an idea and was struggling. And you were like, "No, I actually think that this is something that people will want to hear about." And
Yeah.
that felt good.
And for me, hearing your story added layers to my understanding of you as a business person too. It was really interesting because we were doing all this in real time, right?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about your book stories, starting to write your book. City Row is flowing all around us,
Dare we say imploding? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, imploding or whatever it was
Yeah.
doing,
I have trauma.
flowing.
Hmm.
You were making waves.
Making waves.
But it really shed light, I think, on your business, you as a business person. I think that's super interesting. But I think the difference is that in the book writing, you were able to be more vulnerable and share with me directly some of your deeper stories
Yeah.
and deeper feelings, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah, and I think it was one of the first times where, I always had a therapist, obviously, and I had a great bench of advisors, investors, employees, but I think we very quickly established this space of trust
Hmm.
where you knew enough about the business because you were actually in the business with
Totally.
me
Crazy.
and you started to see the larger picture by hearing the stories that I was telling, wherein at some point I felt so comfortable. I was vulnerable, not just about the stories from the past, but I remember also it feeling like a really safe space to be vulnerable and share what was happening in the moment. And I think that even though, those stories ended up coming later, the fact that you were just such a strong rock and resource for me in the beginning of this transition out of City Row into the unknown of what was next created a really beautiful foundation.
I think in this podcast, we should pretty much spend every episode just going back and forth, talking about what we love about each other and how we've helped each other
Oh
and
my God,
how
that's
wonderful it is.
adorable.
I know it is. Do you think
Yeah.
people would listen
No.
or give a shit?
Yeah. I think people are going to unsubscribe if they
Yeah.
haven't subscribed already.
No, they have to
Yeah. Okay.
subscribe.
Great. I love that for us. But no, I actually like, listen, building a business is really lonely. Whether you're building a business, whether you're, doing something incredible early on in life, like it can be really lonely. And I think that, thanks for seeing me, Leanne.
Of course, I see you. I see you a lot. Um, so I think that I I don't know what I want to say right now. I don't know how to transition to the next thing.
That's fine. This is your first time doing this. I'm proud of you.
You know what I really want to say?
What? What do you want to say?
I'm not a businessman.
You're
I'm a
definitely
businessman. Do you know who said that?
No.
Jay-Z.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
No.
Oh my God.
But I don't know where we go from here either because I don't get your jokes.
I don't get your jokes.
You do get my jokes.
I do after like 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're still working on the one from this morning. I'm
Okay.
proud of you.
Okay. So
Listen,
basically,
I'm so glad that we're collaborators
me too.
because without it, I wouldn't have my book Making Waves, which for me was the one of the most important things that I did to I want to say save myself after City Row. And, you know, for those of you who don't know, City Row was my fitness company that I ran and built for 10 years. It came out of a personal injury. I hurt my back really badly and
Mm-hmm.
saw an opportunity to bring smart fitness to the masses and making rowing sexy and cool and especially appeal to women. So we had a large retail footprint across the country and we were really early in the digital at home space. And so I built City Row for a decade. It was a wild, wild, wild ride. I'll still remember, Leanne, when we started telling the story, we both wanted to be a business book, like kind of like here's some how tos on business. And I thought it would be
Mm.
really cool to tell the City Row story before it ends,
Mm. But
right?
and it did.
Well, eventually, but I think when we first started writing it in 2020, it was kind of like we were working towards a Series A.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it would be like, I remember an early tagline was like, you know, startup to Series A, one founder,
Oh
her
my
story
God.
before she's successful, but probably will, right? Like it was something like that. Like I kind of wanted to write the story before I was tainted by the
I
ending.
forgot about that.
Yeah, it was very early. And then as things started to get progressively worse and worse, I was like, the story, it's a dark story. It's a dark story. Like we can't talk about anything happy. It's bad. It's bad. And then we also got that feedback early. I don't want to give things away, but that women can't write business books.
Ugh,
And it had to be a memoir.
we're gonna do a whole expose too
Oh, we
episode. I
are.
swear to God. I just
Okay.
decided.
We shouldn't tell our
But
sponsors that, but yeah.
no, you're right. And we won't name names, but we'll
Okay.
just give some identifying
Oh,
details.
mystery. I love
Yeah.
mystery. Yeah.
It'll
That's going to,
blind items. That's
okay,
what we'll
great.
do. But what I want to say is I think what you're bringing it all full circle, which is uh, we're going to be talking so much here about the fact that this isn't really about just writing a book. This isn't really about business or entrepreneurship or even collaboration. It's really about navigating that big transition when you have something huge you've done and you're not yet into the next huge thing or the next small thing, just the
Yeah.
next thing. So I'm super psyched to talk to you in
Yeah.
upcoming
I'm
episodes.
so grateful the world's brought us together in the
Me
world of
too.
female founders in fitness and
Oh
then
my God.
ended up, enabling the creation and the publishing and the launch of Making Waves and then ultimately this podcast together.
Our little podcast
I
baby.
love it.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.